What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm here to bring you the start of my F1 2016 career mode. So let's go straight into it. We are going to go with a custom weekend and we're going to go with master difficulty for the AI. And now creating our character. I have already done this, I've planned this all before, and I'm going to use the career booster gold helmet. And obviously we're going to choose our nationality as British. And since number 7 we can't have because human recognize that, we're going to go our second variant number, which is 82. And we're going to call ourselves Shaun Ryder. I believe that is an actual real famous person, I'm not entirely sure, but nevertheless we're going to be called Shaun Ryder for this career mode, and I'm really looking forward to this. And this race, I can tell you, was absolutely mental. It was one of the best races I've ever had. You know, I've done some career mode races on this game before, but this was definitely the best one. It topped every single race I've ever done in this game. And choosing our team, we're going to go with McLaren. Choose the teammate is Jensen Button. So obviously we're going to have to win the championship in 2 to 4 seasons. Hopefully we can win it in season 2 or season 3. That's my aim. For this season I'm aiming to get, I think I'd say about P4 in the constructors. And obviously now you can see all the settings we're having. Simulation damage decides and our assist. Everything off except corner lines and suggested gears. I think I'm going to turn suggested gears off. I'm not entirely sure. I might just have them on for, I believe it is Singapore, yeah. But nevertheless, we've chosen our team and sorted everything out. I'm not going to bother going through all the other stuff because really I don't need to do that because you've probably all seen that before. But straight into practice, track quantization. Obviously we have absolutely nailed that, and our second lap was actually even better because we got all purple on that. So that was a really good lap. And then we go onto the time management test, again also in practice 1. And you can see we've got all the first 6 laps purple, and around near the end of the lap, around the final corner, I was always very smooth and making one movement on the wheel, which always worked well for the tyre wear. So I've got back into purple, and we actually set all 7 laps of purple. So that's another 50 resource points that we've got. And then for the qualifying paces, this was an interesting one because I was able to, first lap I was able to get complete it, simple as that, and same with the second lap, but I couldn't actually get a purple lap time, and I did try again in practice 2 and practice 3, but I just couldn't beat it. In practice 2 I went on super softs, but the tyres were just so worn I couldn't beat it, and then I tried again in practice 3 on the soft tyres, and again I just couldn't beat it. But you just saw the resource points got there, and now you've seen the resource points at the end of practice 3, I believe this is. It might be practice 2, but it must be practice 3. And now we have a new rival, and it is obviously our teammate Jensen Button to begin with at McLaren, and hopefully we can beat him. And straight into Q3 actually. We got through Q1 and Q2 fairly easily. There was no big name knockouts either, so decided to just go straight to Q3. And it's been a good lap, and now we just run to the line, cross the line, and that puts us in 6th. And looking at the results, we actually end up in 6th, and our teammate Jensen Button qualifies in 10th place. The top 3 Lewis Hamilton, Daniel Ricciardo and Nico Rosberg. And look at the resource points from qualifying. You can see that we get 100 resource points from the end, and then we get 12 extra from the career boost. So we get now 260 points and 260 resource points. And now looking at the rivalry update, you can see that we are beating Jensen Button already by 3 sort of steps, I guess you could say. And on the team standings, we are going to move up to number 7 as we qualified higher than 30 and beat Jensen Button, which was our teammates. Now onto the race. So now looking at the race strategy, you can see it is a one-stop today going on to the intermediate tyres, and I didn't bother showing you formation lap as now we're revving up to 5 red lights the Australian Grand Prix, and the 2016 season is now underway. Vettel doesn't get the best start, we get a good start, and we already are past him. And now coming up to the first corner in 5th place, we brake and we actually have slight contact with Max Verstappen, then contact with, I believe it was Kimi Räikkönen, and now we get a warning for that. And Sebastian Vettel actually goes around outside in his Ferrari. That was a fantastic move by Sebastian Vettel. And coming up to turn 3, we decide to throw up the inside, and basically we just went down the inside and hoped for the best. And Vettel saw us there, and we move up into 5th place ahead of Sebastian Vettel. And next, and is Max coming through turn 4. We're following Max Verstappen, and we're up in 5th place in our first race of our career mode season on F1 2016. And now moving on to lap 4, you can see we're close up on Max Verstappen, and if you look in the bottom left hand corner, you can see the lead that Lewis Hamilton never went ahead of Max Verstappen has, because Max Verstappen actually had a problem, and so we are much quicker at the moment, and we couldn't make a move through there. We had a little look, but the gap was always going to close, and through the final corner again we have another look, but that wasn't going to work. So now coming around the final corner, we get a brilliant run off the final corner, and we actually pull out to the right to get past Max Verstappen. And I saw the proximity error, and then I thought, right, we can move to the right now, to the left now, it's safe. Actually, it wasn't. We actually caught Max Verstappen, and we were lucky to not hit the barrier, and that is going to drop us way down, and we dropped down to actually 11th at the moment. But then Nico Hülkenberg hits us, and Sainz just goes straight through up into 11th, and we end up in 12th place. And now on lap 6, a lap later actually, we are coming through onto the second DRS straight, but obviously no DRS as it is in the wet, and we are very, very close to Carlos Sainz as we got the inside in turn 3. We've already made a pass there before, and I think Sainz actually locked up, but nevertheless we move up now into P10, back up into the points, and next up is Sergio Perez in the Force India and then I believe after him is our teammate Jenson Button. And now on lap 9, we're behind Perez for quite a while now, and I just couldn't get past him because of the speed that car had in the straight line with that Mercedes engine. And obviously we've got a Honda engine, which is probably, I think it is the I think it's better than the Renault, but not as good. But this time we are close, and we're going up into rich mix, stay in the city and pull out, and then we got the inside of Sergio Perez at turn 3 once again, and we get the pass done, and that's up into P8. And then Jenson Button is next up in 7th place, and he was actually faster than us in this stint, the first stint of the race, and we couldn't catch him. Excuse me, I'm sorry. But onto lap 13 now, we come into the pits. I thought, well, I'm not catching Button, it's better to just come in, go for the undercut and see what we can do, whether these new tyres will help us or not. And slowed it down for the line, actually quite early, but now come down the pit lane. No, this is a bid to try and get ahead of Jenson Button and try and have a better finishing position than we would have had if we didn't do this. So ongoing a fresh set of intermediate tyres, and it's 3 second pit stop. I was actually quite surprised, but we might have been a bit quicker. But nevertheless, it looks like we're going to rejoin in P14, maybe 15, 16. No, we're still going to drop down, and we actually rejoin in P20 behind Felipe Massa in the Williams. Now he's actually made a pit stop, but nobody else ahead of us has made a pit stop. I actually think Lewis Hamilton might have made a pit stop. But nevertheless, on to the end of lap 14 actually. We are faster than all the guys ahead of us. They're actually being held up, and we got the inside of Felipe Massa there, and that is up into 19th place. And next up is Nico Hülkenberg, and I believe he's actually going to pull into the pit. And yes, he is. Drivers now pulling into the pit, but NASA elects to stay out, and I also elect to stay out because I've already made my pit stop. NASA hasn't, I don't think, but it's around lap 40. But the scheduled stop lap time, I believe was around lap 14, lap 19. But I pitted a lap early, and now we have an amazing run out of the first out of turn 2 and onto the straight. But the Ferrari engine outside is just too powerful. But nevertheless, we still got the inside of Felipe Massa up into turn 3 once again actually, and we get the pass done up into 14th place. Next up is Julian Palmer, and I believe it's Harriento in the manner as we lose the back end, but then coming through the fast right hander we have it all under control as we actually caught that. And now coming on to the end of lap 15, you just saw it said teammate is in the pits. So Jenson Button is now in the pits, and we're in the final sector. We throw it up the inside of Julian Palmer and move up into 13th place. Fairly easy move. And next up is Harriento. We have a little look through there, but that wasn't going to work. So we're going to have to have a look somewhere else, and we actually dive up the inside at the penultimate corner, and we get the pass done up into spot place. And now it's all about to see where we are going to finish, where Jensen Button is going to rejoin in comparison to us. Obviously we made a pit stop on lap 13 a lap early, and Jensen Button has pitted 2 laps later, and he's actually ahead of us. So now that it's all refreshed, Jensen Button is still in 7th, we're still in 8th, and Jensen Button actually, I believe we were 4 seconds behind, and then it got to so we were 6 seconds behind, I believe, and now we're actually 8 seconds behind. But luckily we were able to catch him, and you can see now we're on lap 20. We have caught up to Jensen Button, and Sergio Perez is now out of the race actually. And coming through the final corner now, we actually had quite a good run, it seems, through the final corner, and we are still catching the button, and the safety car is deployed. So instantly, it sort of helps us, sort of doesn't. I see a safety car coming out, so, and obviously only past the safety car, is waiting for the leader. So I passed the safety car, and I was thinking, right, okay, so we lost some time to Jensen now, but in the safety car we can catch up, and you can see that we have actually. And lap 24 is coming in, and we are so close to Jensen Button, but around, and now it's basically yellow flags, and as I believe the leader is Lewis Hamilton, and he is just bolted. The green flag comes around when you're going around the final corner, which is quite awkward for me, I find, Australia, but nevertheless we're still in 8th place with Max Verstappen behind us, and I was actually quite surprised. I thought Max Verstappen was going to get past, and we actually lost some time to Jensen Button, but but now coming through the first corner, we actually get a fantastic run and go around the outside to the spot, and then Max Verstappen, no, not Max Verstappen, Kevin Magnussen gets in the way, and that meant us that we actually lost time. And Max Verstappen, I thought was going to pass us, but luckily he didn't, and we were able to catch up back up to Jensen Button, who is right behind Valtteri Bottas, and Bottas he can't keep up with the top 5. But so it's right now it's 3 of us gap for P6 between myself, Valtteri Bottas, Jensen Button, and Max Verstappen actually, for 6th place. So it goes all the way down from 6th to 9th, which is quite surprising, as though you actually lose back in there. And now coming on to the end of lap 25, we actually have a run on Jensen Button, and we actually got the inside with slight contact. We sort of barged our way through, but luckily Jensen doesn't lose any places there, and we're up into 7th place. And next up is Valtteri Bottas, and on the final lap, in the final sector, we decided to go up the inside as the only chance I was going to have to make a move, and we're in the lean mix at the moment because we did have conserved fuel, but I thought we were going to have to go up the inside because that was a now or never move. And coming through here, I decided to go up to the rich mix just to give us a little bit of extra power to get across the line. And coming around the final corner, we actually lose the back end. Luckily, we were able to catch it. But straight after that, we as soon as we got up to the 6th gear, we ran out of fuel, and right near the end, Valtteri Bottas and Max Verstappen just pipped us and crossed the line ahead of us, so we finished in 8th place, 2 places lower than we qualified in the dry, but of course it was wet and we did achieve our team objective. None that was so heartbreaking. And now looking at the race results, you can see Lewis Hamilton won the race ahead of Nico Rosberg, making it, and Mercedes won 2, with Daniel Ricciardo in 3rd and Sebastian Vettel finishing over his teammate Kimi Raikkonen in 4th and 5th. Valtteri Bottas finished in 6th with Max Verstappen in 7th. Myself and Jensen Button, my teammate, finished in 8th and 9th in tandem, with Carlos Sainz ran out of points paying positions. And you can see Roman Grosjean and Daniel Kvyat in 12th as we're going down, and you can see that the only driver not to finish the race was Sergio Perez, and Kevin Magnussen actually finished in 21st surprisingly. But nevertheless, now going on to the driver's standings, is obviously exactly the same as the race results, and now on to the current constructors. Mercedes lead the way, 21 points ahead of Ferrari, with Red Bull a further 1.9 Ferrari. Then Williams, we are tied on, we are 2 points behind Williams, McLaren on 6 points, ahead of the last points scoring teams. Sorry, so teams yet to score, I now can't see, so I can't remember. But now look at the resource points that we got from the end of that Grand Prix. We got 95 resource points, which puts our tally up to 355. Look at the rivalry update. Obviously, we did beat Jensen Button, so we are going to be beating. So we should continue to beat him in the rivalry, and we are. Now looking at the team standings, we actually achieved all 3 objectives. So we are going to move up to 10, which is going to be exceeding the team's expectations, which is obviously always a good thing. And just now looking at the career score, I don't really care about. And now as we go into the laptop, I actually have to show you this what I did, because I actually forgot to show it earlier in the video. But going to the research and development, we did go on the engine, and I believe next we might go fuel efficiency, maybe drag or downforce. I'm not entirely sure. But no, that is it for this video, guys. So if you did enjoy it, please get a big like, comment down below what you thought, subscribe if you are new for weekly F1 content. You can follow me on Twitter at shadow_82. There is a link to that down in the description. All the music used in this video will also be down in the description in the order that it was played. But that's it from me, and I'll see you next time.